Okay, let's try this again. What up everyone, it's your girl Superwoman, and over the past few weeks a top comment on almost all of my videos has been, do a draw my life video, and I'm here to tell you that I've already done one. Say shmar? Yup, I've done it, but you can't see it because I deleted it the very next day. Why, you ask? Well, because it included stories about my life that involved other people. And honestly, it broke my heart to delete that video because I was so proud of it. And you know what? I still am. But instead of being bitter in my unicorn fashion, I've decided to give it another go. And this time, I'm the only author, the only illustrator, and the only main character. So hi, my name is Lily, and this is my life. On one glorious day called September 26, 1988, my parents gave birth to me. It was my mom, my dad, my older sister, my nanaji, and me. I grew up in Scarborough, which is considered kind of a rough ghetto area, you know what I mean? And I absolutely loved it. Quick facts about me growing up. I was a girl guide, believe it or not. Yep, I sold cookies and everything. I was valedictorian in elementary school, majorly obsessed with the Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, and The Rock. And it was when I was a kid that I bought the same Superwoman ring I wear every day now. I used to call myself Superwoman because I felt like the name gave me strength. Pretending there was an S on my chest really helped me through a lot of hard times growing up. As a kid, I was a really big tomboy. I wore baggy clothes, loved wrestling, and didn't appreciate anything girly. My mom always used to say it was because she secretly wanted a boy. Oh, thanks, Mom. Throughout elementary school and high school, I was convinced that I was destined to be someone great. I always imagined that I would become a superstar rapper or actress, although, admittedly, I probably didn't have a talent in either. From a young age, I knew that sitting behind a desk in a 9-to-5 job was never something I wanted to do. I always had big dreams. But a lot changed once I entered university. As most roller coasters do, my life took a plunge in the third year of my undergrad. I ran into issues with a few of my friends that really affected me. A whole bunch of emotional stuff I carried with me from my childhood continued to haunt me, and I honestly felt as if my entire life collapsed. Over the next few months, I fell into a severe depression. I lost my appetite and my desire to wake up in the morning. I wouldn't answer my phone, and I lost a lot of friends. I had no goals, no aspirations, and no motivation. I was no longer that colorful girl who had big dreams, and as scary as it sounds, I can honestly say that I lost my desire to live, and that translated into some very scary thoughts on some very scary nights. I also developed irrational thoughts of people staring at me. Whenever I was in public, I felt like I was wearing a huge sign that said, depressed. I suddenly felt uncomfortable and nervous whenever people were around me. And this lasted for roughly a year. And I can't say what exactly changed in my brain or what caused something in my brain to switch, but all I know is that one morning I woke up and decided I didn't want to be this person anymore. So over the next year, I forced myself to get my life back together. It wasn't easy at all, and I often relapsed back into depression. I eventually learned to talk about my feelings, create healthy relationships, and most importantly, to love myself. It became my goal to take all the pains of depression and transform those pains into lessons and tools I could use to better my life. I specifically remember one night when I was an absolute mess. Now, up until this night, I thought that the mind and body were two separate things that functioned completely separate from each other. I learned the hard way that this, in fact, is not true. That night, my mind was racing with thoughts, fears, scary images, recalling every terrible thing to ever happen to me, and just flooding with negativity. So I decided to call a friend, get up, do something, anything other than lie there and tremble and cry. But my body would simply not respond. I remember feeling a huge wave of panic because I couldn't get my arms, my legs, or my hands to move. I was finding it difficult to breathe, and I was completely paralyzed for those few minutes because my mind was controlling me and not vice versa. So during my recovery, I kept that night in mind, and in fact, I will never forget it because today I apply that same concept, but in the opposite way. If my mind can negatively impact me in such a way, then it can have the same impact positively when I'm upset. And that's why when something terrible happens, something as terrible as losing someone you really, really love, yeah, sure, I will cry. I will be heartbroken. but ultimately I will make that decision to let my mind fill with the positives. And I can assure you, no matter what your name is and what your life draws out to be, there are always positives. But let's move on to the part where I embarrass myself on the internet. While vacationing with my family in Dominican Republic, I took a few moments to myself and sat by the beach alone. It was at this point that I was in the final steps of healing myself, but I wasn't quite there. It's at that moment that I decided I wanted to do this YouTube thing seriously. I had a few videos out at the time, but nothing significant. On that night, I told myself that if my video could be the reason someone's bad day turns good, or the reason someone upset smiles, then all my efforts would be worth it. And who knows, maybe my video will be the cause for that switch to flick in someone else's brain while they're depressed. Now wouldn't that be awesome sauce? So I came back home, and since then I've been on this YouTube journey. I'm constantly working on projects, doing what I love, and meeting amazing people. And here's the truth. I didn't make this video because you kept requesting it. And I didn't make it because I don't have any other ideas. And I definitely did not make it so I could cover up for deleting my last one. I made it to tell you this. You're in a boxing ring with a 10-foot giant named Life, and he is going to knock you out. He knocked me out cold a few years ago, and every part of me wanted to stay down. That terrible night could have gone either way, and I am so thankful every single day that I chose to get back up for another round. So for those of you who feel like you want to give up the fight and there is no hope, this video is your hope, because I am telling you that every dream you have can come true. In the most modest way possible, I'm about to hit 700,000 subscribers. I just featured in my first film. I'm booked for London and Australia next month. Paris Jackson told me she loves my videos. MIA follows me on Twitter, and Kunal, aka Raj from Big Bang Theory, is now my close friend. None of that could have happened if I was at the bottom of some bridge. This is not a fictional story. This is not a commercial. This is my real life. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed regardless of what anyone says. This is how I became who I am. And I promise you, this video will never get taken down. If you are looking for a reason to keep fighting, this is it. If I can do it, so can you. And that's pretty much the story of how I, Lily aka Superwoman, defeated my biggest villain, aka myself. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey and being part of my life. It's nice to finally feel good about myself, even though so many people are staring. I hope that wasn't too sad and depressing to listen to, because it's not. Let's talk about happy stuff. Ready? Okay, rainbows, unicorns, glitter, sparkle, candy, colors, wicked awesomeness, explosions of happiness, and cupcakes falling from the sky. Ow, I hit my hand on the wall. Anyways, as of right now, I have no idea what my future has in store, but that's my life thus far. That's a wrap. One love, Superwoman, and zoop! As per usual, you can click here to watch my last video. You can also click the subscribe button right here for new videos every Monday and Thursday. Also, check me out on Twitter and Facebook. In the meantime, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm actually a really good drawer. I don't know, it's just like since birth artistic skills. I know I don't like to brag about it, but I'm just going to take this time to draw a self-portrait of myself, so I'm just going to do that. La-di-da with drawing self-portraits. Drawing, shmur, shmur, drawing, shmur, 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 drawing self-portraits, shmur.